I don't know if I've ever loved a band as much as I loved Skid Row between 1989 and 1995. So, when Atlantic Records put out the box set containing all of their albums and a live release a couple years ago, I actually fucking bought two. So today, we're gonna review Skid Row The Atlantic Years, the vinyl box set. Welcome to the Hair Metal Guru. My name is Anthony. They call me the Guru. And yes, today we're going to review this box set. And yes, I actually fucking bought two of them because I bought one right away, probably when it was too expensive. And then I bought another one when the price dipped dramatically. So I don't know if that means that it just didn't sell very well or what. But we're going to find out why it might have sold or why it might not have when we open this bitch up and talk about the contents. So let's do that. This is the unopened one. So I'm going to show you this one and then I'm going to review the other one because nothing has been pulled out of the other one. I just decided that I'm going to keep one unopened because I fucking love this band so much. So here's the hype sticker. Kind of show it to you. Here's the front, the Atlantic Years, does it say 1989 to 1996? I couldn't remember if it said to 1995, which is when Subhuman Race came out. But there's the front. And here is the side. Probably look better. Nothing on that one. There you can see the sides of the vinyl. Nothing on that side. Probably look better when I get the one that has the plastic wrap off. And here is the back, and I'll show it to you on the one that has the plastic off. But here's what the hype sticker says. Skid Row, The Atlantic Years, 1989 to 1996, 180-gram audiophile vinyl, 7 LPs, including Skid Row's multi-million selling, worldwide charting, first 3 studio albums, plus the Beside Ourselves EP, and first time on vinyl for Japan only live EP, Subhuman Beings on Tour. So that's the hype sticker, and you know, kind of a nondescript front, but that logo is so, you know, universally known that you probably don't need anything more than that. But you can tell me what you think of that, the outside, if you see I don't know, if you think there's any problem with it or not. But here is, so now we're going to pretend that we just pulled the shrink wrap off, and here is the opened product. So here you can get a better look at the back side. See, like, kind of a interesting band photo here, album information, all the albums that you're going to see, the debut, Slave, Beside Ourselves, Subhuman Race, and the Subhuman Beings on Tour, and all the songs listed. So, I have opened this up because obviously I've had this for a while. In fact, I've had this for a long time. I think I bought this in 2022. I bought the first one for, I don't know, probably $150, which is probably not that good a deal, but I was just so jazzed that they were putting out a Skid Row box set, so I pulled the trigger. Now, I got the second one. I think the price went down to like $75 or $80. So seriously, so that's why I have two. I don't always buy two of everything, but I'm like 5 fucking albums for $75. That's like $15 a piece. So I bought another one and decided to open one and keep one. So let's open the end. I'll just tell you, there's not a bunch extras. So right now on Amazon, I think it's $129. I just looked. I'll double check and I'll put it here. Look, I'm not pointing at my penis. I'm pointing at the cost of the Skid Row The Atlantic Years box set. So I'll put the Amazon cost in it. But we're going to pull out. We're going to pull out because we don't want to get pregnant. Just kidding. So there's the empty box. And let's see what we got here. So here's the debut. And this came out, I wrote down the dates that it came out just for context sake. This came out January 24th, 1989. Holy shit. I would have been 16 years old. And honestly, I don't remember hearing Youth Gone Wild on the Fargo rock radio station Q98 very often. Okay. To me, the album started blowing up when 18 in Life and I Remember You came out. And I think that was kind of a problem. You know, like, yes, Youth Gone Wild was a hit. But damn it, when you think of the first album, at least as far as big hits, you know, it's ballads. Even though 18 in Life was obviously an unusual, very ahead of its time ballad. But so let's look, you got a lyric sheet. And you got just a plain white sleeve, which, whatever. Here is one side, and here is another side. But I played the shit out of this cassette. Like, by the time I got done, you couldn't read the sides of the cassette anymore. I remember, like, driving to a party with some people, and I was like playing this album per usual, and I remember this girl going, well, can you just like skip to Youth Gone Wild or I Remember You or 18 in Life? And I was fucking disgusted. I'm like, do you have any clue how great this fucking thing is? Like, no, we're not just gonna listen to the hits. We're gonna listen to the whole damn thing the way it was intended. So, Big Guns. Oh, that opening guitar riff, holy shit. Now, to be honest, has the album aged tremendously well? Some of it has. But like, Sweet Little Sister, like, yeah, it's a good song. Do I love it now? Can't Stand the Heartache? Maybe a little bit embarrassing. Anyway, but Piece of Me obviously still fucking rules. Sleazy, gritty. I mean, Sebastian Bach, I think people forget, maybe not, but how huge Skid Row was when this album started blowing up, and how fucking massive Sebastian Bach was. Like, I collect rock magazines. That band, and especially him, let's be honest, was on the cover of everything, because not only could he sing on record, but he was like the prettiest man, boy, person in music at the time. I mean, unbelievably photogenic. And besides being so good looking, he was that rebel. You know, John Bon Jovi was the nice guy. You know, you weren't gonna hear about John like swigging Jack Daniels and you know, doing blow, but you could envision Sebastian Bach swigging Jack Daniels and doing blow. And even though I'm not saying he never, you know, he was always in relationships. You know, I don't think he was the kind of guy who was out banging hookers every night, like I probably would have been if I would have been in a band back then. But, you know, he came off like the bad boy. He wasn't afraid to say fuck and shit and get audiences riled up. So anyway, I'm getting off track. 18 in Life, amazing. Rattlesnake Shake. I mean, how many fucking bands had to have a Rattlesnake Shake song in 1989? Youth Gone Wild, I still fucking love that thing. I mean, every teenager could, you know, even if you weren't being kept down by the man, which obviously we all thought we were back then, we probably weren't, you know, but we all related to that. It was like, oh, you know, I'm the Youth Gone Wild. I'm not going to let the man tell me what to do, even though we probably spent a lot of our lives letting the man tell us what to do. Here I Am is okay. You know, and back in the day, I loved every single song on the album. You know, Here I Am Now is okay. Making a Mess is pretty good. I Remember You is still an amazing ballad. And then it finishes off with Midnight Tornado. So there's the back. I mean, and didn't every picture of Skid Row back in the day look like they had to be in the back of an alley and look like, you know, gritty, like alley fucking punks, which, you know, what worked, it sold. It was like they were the next iteration of Guns N' Roses. So, produced by Michael Wagner, who has produced, man, I want Michael Wagner on the channel. If anybody knows Michael Wagner, I did add him on, you know, you add people on Facebook and you message them, and I get it. They probably have 8 billion friends on Facebook. I'm not expecting everybody to respond to but I messaged him, and I was like, hey man, I love what you've done. You've produced some of my favorite albums of all time. This, Slave to the Grind, Under Lock and Key by Dokken, Warrants, Dog Eat Dog, holy shit. Okay, so I would love to have him on the channel and talk about his career as a producer. So anyway, there's the debut. There's the back. Talked about the songs. Amazing. 5 times platinum. Unbelievable how much I loved this thing back in the day. Okay. When June 11th, 1989, and it fucking debuts at number 1. And it is so fucking awesome. But it, I've said it a million times, only went double platinum. I know people are saying only. That's still pretty amazing. But it took like 8 years. And we were thinking when this thing came out, they were gonna be bigger than Guns N' Roses. That's what I thought. I was like, yeah, Guns N' Roses, yeah. You know, I mean, obviously the Illusions were massive, but I thought these guys were gonna be bigger. Okay? Sebastian was the ultimate frontman. You know, and so that's what I thought. So what, you know, obviously grunge was coming, but again, it just felt like Skid Row was going to be a band that was going to survive all that shit. And to debut at number 1, and then Sebastian's on the cover of Rolling Stone, which, you know, I'm sure the band was like, fuck, he gets the cover. Why isn't the band on the cover? Okay, but, you know, obviously you were going to put that face on the cover, but there was all the controversies. The bottle incident, I think it was in Missouri, maybe it was in Massachusetts. Anyway, where he throws the bottle and he breaks up the girl's face. Then there's the AIDS kills fags dead. You know, and part of us, not that we were rooting for that kind of shit, but part of us was like, yeah, fuck, nobody's going to tell Sebastian what to do. And then later on, you're like, that was kind of stupid, breaking up a girl's face. But just saying, like, they were the bad boys. They were the dangerous band. Kind of like Guns N' Roses. So, anyway, I'm getting a little bit off track. This one is a gatefold. Show you the back. And I think it's the only one on of this box set that is a gatefold. So there's the full poster that was, or the full painting that was painted by Sebastian's dad. I think his name was David Burke. Sebastian's real last name is Burke. So gatefold. And, you know, I mean, when you look at that, the band on this picture, they really look like they've been run through the ringer. You know, and they probably, who knows how long. I mean, I don't know exactly how many dates, but I'm sure they toured the debut forever. You know, and that'll wear a person out. You know, the amount of fucking drinking and drugging and hooker banging that you're doing. I mean, wow. So you get lyrics. You get plain white jacket sleeve thing. And here is one side. Here is the other side. You know, 20 bucks says the band had no input on this shit. I mean, that's what I think. And I really want to get somebody from the band on the channel for an interview. So I'm hoping that will happen. You know, I would love to talk to Snake or Rachel. I'm actually been emailing Rob Affuso. I'd love to, and so he's, you know, we're trying to figure out a date. Scotty Hill, I would love to talk to. I'm sure Sebastian will not talk to me. You know, he fucking blocked me on X. We've had some run-ins, you know, online, and he hates my ass. So I'm sure it won't be Sebastian, but maybe one of the other guys. I would love to talk to you about your career and about what's going on now. And obviously, if Sebastian hates me, obviously, and I've been pretty open about it, I tend to take the Skid Row guy's side. You know, I understand why they don't get back together with Sebastian. I really do. He seems like he'd be a fucking handful. And they're probably tired of, you know, like he probably, does he seem like a guy who shuts up? Can you imagine being on a tour bus or an airplane with him? And you know, he'll be like really nice and be like, you know, yeah, I really want to get back together. And I should, you know, I should reach out and talk to those guys. And then he'll go on stage and shit on them. So anyway, I've always kind of been on the Skid Row side in this battle. So, you know, Skid Row guys, come on and let's talk. And I'm not gonna shit on you. I'm gonna tell your side. I'm gonna allow you to tell your side of the story. You know, I just want to hear it and share it with people, and I want to hear the honest truth. So that's the other side of the vinyl gatefold for Slave to the Grind. I envisioned this being a short video, but man, once you get, you know, you start talking about a band that you are passionate about, and I am passionate about Skid Row. Have I shit on Sebastian at times? Sure. But like I said in the intro, there's not many bands that I've loved and felt I related to as much as this band. So I start talking about them and I get fucking, like you can see, and obviously I'm drinking coffee at night, which is also dumb, but you can just see, I hope, how passionate I am about this band. So, Monkey Business, amazing. Slave to the Grind, maybe my favorite rock. It's damn near punk rock. It is so fast. And Sebastian sounds amazing on it. And it was a single, and I think it flopped. And I'm in Fargo. I don't think Q98. I never remember hearing Monkey, you know, maybe once or twice. But they barely played Monkey Business. The Threat, great song. Quicksand Jesus, amazing ballad. And there's the story about, you know, the band puts out Monkey Business, and then radio starts playing Quicksand Jesus, a ballad. And not Snake, Rachel tells the story of, you know, their management and their team saying, we got to call radio and stop playing Quicksand Jesus, and because we want them to play the new single, Slave to the Grind. And I love Slave to the Grind. But Rachel was like, we're going to tell people to stop playing a song? But they were so massive, and the team is like, you guys are so big, you can do anything you want. Well, that turned out to be false, because they did call people and tell them to stop playing Quicksand Jesus and to ask them to get behind Slave to the Grind. And they were like, yeah, we'll stop playing Quicksand Jesus, and we're not going to play Slave to the Grind, and fuck you guys and fuck your album. You know, there was so much goodwill from the debut to me, that's why this thing debuted at number one. But it should have been number one because of how great it is. It is an amazing album. So it's finished. Psycho Love. You know, this album is so fucking heavy. Great song. Get the Fuck Out. I love Get the Fuck Out. And I think Beggar's Day which was on the not censored version. Beggar's Day is a great song. Living on a Chain Gang, great song. Creep Show, very, very good. In a Darkened Room, amazing ballad. Holy fuck. That song is great. Riot Act is damn near punk. I love Riot Act, one of my favorite songs on the album. The riff on Mud Kicker will fucking kick your nuts. Unbelievable riff. And Wasted Time is the only song that became kind of a minor hit on this thing. It went to number 88. It should have been a top 10 ballad. Unbelievable album. So, I know I talk about it like it's a failure, but I love this thing. It is all killer, no filler. It should have gone 5 times platinum. Okay. I got to start going a little faster because I'm at like 21 fucking minutes and I'm only still got 3 albums left. Okay, but it'll get shorter now. Okay, Beside Ourselves came out fucking September 22nd, 1992, peaked at number 58. It's an EP. There's only 5 songs on it. And I wonder if this was like they were saying, fuck, man. Slave didn't do... There's no way they thought it was as successful as they thought it was going to be. So maybe that's where they're starting to realize their problems with Sebastian are bigger than we knew. So they're like, we better get something out there to keep the momentum going because this 3rd full-length album is not going to be out. Slave came out in 91. They should have had a full-length album out by 93. Subhuman didn't come out till 95. So anyway, I really like this, if it seems like I'm just disappointed that they didn't, stay on the Slave to the Grind thing and get a full length out in 93. You get this little poster, black and white, nothing on the back. You get, again, the regular white sleeve. Here is the vinyl. So, fine. I'll briefly talk about the songs. They got a couple videos. They did a video for the Jimi Hendrix cover of Little Wing. It's a great cover. They did a video for the Ramones Psychotherapy with Rachel singing. And I'll be honest, that's probably my favorite song on this album. I love punk rock. I love the Ramones. I think that's the best song on the album. So they also did Come On and Love Me by Kiss. It's very good. I like it. I think was it live? I know they did a live version of Delivering the Goods with Rob Halford. And I think that's the version that you hear here. Anyway, Rob Halford is on it. The Judas Priest song, not my favorite song on this album. And What You're Doing by Rush, not my favorite song on this album. And then Little Wing. So, something to tide the fans over until Subhuman Race would come out 3 fucking years later. So, speaking of Subhuman Race, let's get to that. Again, there's only one gatefold. Why did they fucking bail on the regular logo? Everybody was trying to hide from their past. Pantera, they were trying to hide from their past. Alice in Chains certainly weren't bragging about their hair metal past. So I do get it. But, you're kind of disappointed. You do see the old logo, but, it's kind of barely visible. So they're trying to do something different. There's the front. Honestly, I think this cover kind of sucks. I do not like the cover of this album at all. Here's the back. And you can tell they went on tour with Pantera. And I'll just say it. I thought that was a mistake. I saw that tour. And I'm not, I have respect for Pantera, but they were way heavier. I thought they should have gone out with a band like McQueen Street, Love Hate, Electric Angels. somebody like that on the Slave to the Grind tour. They went out with Pantera, and obviously Pantera ended up blowing up, and Skid Row ended up kind of going down, unfortunately. Here's the, the lyrics and the little poster. But this thing comes out when May 28th, 1985. Did I just say 1985? What a dumbass. You do get, it's on 2 vinyls. It debuted at number 35. It did not go gold. None of the songs were hits. It got a couple videos. I loved Breaking Down is an amazing ballad. And my buddy Patrick Reeves, who's on the channel frequently now, awesome guy. This is not only his favorite Skid Row album, it's his favorite album of all time. Holy shit. So, I do like some of it. Do I think it compares at all to the first 2 records? No. But it's so fucking heavy. Holy shit. It is unbelievable, and even the band has kind of disowned it. It was just like the anniversary of this album, the 30th anniversary. And Rachel puts out a video, and he's like, hey, it's 30th anniversary. It's not my favorite album, but so I get it. They probably were not getting along. Fucking A, get in here. I'm sure they were hating Sebastian by this time. Shit, fuck me. Even on the Slave to the Grind tour, they were traveling in different tour buses. I think Sebastian had his own bus. Somebody can tell me if I'm wrong. But I used to religiously watch the Oh Say Can You Scream and the Roadkill home videos. I religiously watch those things. And you'd see Sebastian be hanging out on his own. And the band would be doing, Snake and Rachel and the other guys would kind of be together. Rob kind of didn't seem like he was as much a part of all of it. Anyway. So I'm sure when they're writing this thing, they're probably not getting along. They probably want to get out of the studio. And Bob Rock produced it. Who produced Dr. Feelgood and the Metallica 1991 album. But it just, I've heard that maybe he didn't really want to be there. Anyway, it's so fucking heavy. My Enemy, I'm not going to sit and talk about. Fire Sign, Bonehead, Beat Yourself Blind is unbelievably heavy. When they say beat yourself blind, are they talking about, I kind of wonder. Eileen, I kind of like. I like Eileen. Remains to Be Seen, Subhuman Race, Frozen, Into Another is a good song. I really like that one. Face Against My Soul, Medicine Jar, Breaking Down is an amazing ballad. Okay, that's my favorite song on the album. And then Iron Will. So, it was a band on its last legs. It's no surprise they didn't play that many shows for this and that they broke up after this album. That's why the box set is called Skid Row The Atlantic Years, 1989 to 1996, because in 1996, it all fell apart. Okay, unfortunately. All right. And lastly, the Skid Row Subhuman Beings on Tour live album. And number one, I don't really like live albums. I like hearing shit the way, it is on record. I love seeing live shows, but I don't sit around listening to live albums. But there are 6 songs on this album. White sleeve. Here's each side. So I should listen to it, but I haven't. Just being honest. Ooh, and there's this. It says Subhuman Beings on Tour, because I think this is in Japan is where this came out. So it's all in Japanese, and one side's in Japanese, one side's in American or English for you English speaking people. So Anyway, I mean, it's, I'm glad they put something extra in it, something that not everybody had. But I would love to have, again, the poster, the tour book, the guitar pick, the fucking ads and adverts and extra shit and reviews and stuff like that Kiss does. I'd love to see I love that shit. I really do. Even though I know it's just duplicate, it's not like it's original, but it's just, I don't know. I think it's cool to have. So obviously if I got one of these for $80, hey, that's worth it. Pull the trigger on that. Right now, again, I think it's either $125 or $129. I'll put the price in. So, at that for what? There's 5 records, 5 albums in it. And so at $25 a piece, that would be $125. So maybe, that's worth it. Obviously, if you get it for $100, but that's why I just don't think the band had, because I think if the band would have had input, they would have said, hey, let's give the fans some extra shit besides just, the live album that wasn't, let's put some goodies in there. I mean, Skid Row really did seem like they were fans of music and, Sebastian and the whole band. So I would think that they would be like, yeah, let's put in the extras. Let's put in the goodies. So I'm sure they had nothing to do with this. Atlantic just puts it out just to try to make a few bucks, which is unfortunate, but it's still cool. I mean, I still love Skid Row. And so, if you're a Skid Row fan, you probably already have this. So I know, sometimes I do this shit way after it was released because it hasn't been until the last couple months that I've started even doing these reviews. The channel's not even 2 years old. So, I have a lot of shit that I need to do reviews. I'll try to do more stuff, when it gets released in the next year. I'll try, I did a review of the new LA Guns album. I think I'm going to do a review of the Blue Murder second CD on vinyl. I think I'm going to get that, and I'll try to do that right when I get it. But anyway, so I know this has been out for a few years, but Skid Row, the Atlantic years, 1989 to 1996, 5 albums, and they do look beautiful. They look beautiful, and you do get an unreleased album that we never got here in America. So for whatever the price is, decide if you want to pull the trigger. If you love Skid Row, you're probably going to pull the trigger. Okay, I'm glad that I have this. And I'm glad that I fucking have 2. Okay, right? So I got one that's sealed. Hey, let me know what you think of it in the comments. If you have it, tell me about it and let me know if you don't have it, if I encourage you to buy it or if I encourage you to fucking pass. So in the description, you will see a link to Hair Metal Guru merch. You'll see a link to my Saturday night radio show on Rock 101 KLOL. I host Hair Metal Mansion every Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Time. You'll also see the link to my X account at Hair Metal Guru. So follow me and get in the conversation. Hey, thanks a lot for supporting the channel. You have the opportunity to become a member. It does cost a few bucks, but hopefully I make it worth your while. I try to respond to the members' comments first, and members also get early access to some of the videos. So, hey, whatever you can do to support the channel, truly, I appreciate you being here. Until the next video comes out, my name is Anthony. They call me the Guru. Take care of yourselves.